What's up, everybody? It's your boys back again with another episode of Franchise Tagged Fantasy Football Podcast. If you're new here, please click that sub button. Everyone else, leave a like, rating, and comment. Let us know what you think of how we're doing in the bottom down in the comment section. Today, boys, we have a 12-team full-point PPR mock draft. It is the season to mock draft. It is the season to get prepared to figure out what is going to be happening in your real-life drafts. So, perfect time to practice, and we're going to walk you through step by step. But up first, big news coming out. So we're going to let Brennen kind of give us a rundown of what everyone's been doing and where players have been going.
Yep. So the first bit of news that dropped yesterday was that Zeke Elliott did sign with the Cowboys worth up to $6 million. I think this obviously I don't think it hurts Ramondre too much, but it does take a little bit of effect. But I think this will make Zeke the goal line back there.
I think what it does is it caps what Ramondre would be. Honestly, I think it puts a big cap on him if Zeke stays healthy. Honestly, that's really where the big if is. But you're taking away touchdown upside from somebody that had the backfield to himself. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I would agree with that, especially on the goal line, because Zeke, I think he might have said Cowboys there, Brennan, but I think he meant Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots. Apologies.
But you're good. But yeah, Zeke is probably going to take quite a bit of that goal line work from Ramondre himself.
Yeah. I mean, Ramondre only scored 6 touchdowns last season, so it wasn't like he was a touchdown-dependent back. His best work was from receiving, which I still think that's where he'll be most useful. But it does take a little bit of damper. So the next bit of news was that Dalvin Cook signed with the New York Jets. That was kind of expected, but now it's official. So all the Breece Hall believers, this does take a damage to his stock a little bit.
Yeah, and then right after that, maybe like a day after, was it like a day? Breece Hall comes off the pup. I'm like,
yeah,
what's going on in New York right now? Like, why would you bring Dalvin Cook in if Breece Hall was going to come off and be good? Why?
Who knows, man?
Why?
But all I'm saying is that Willy Wonka tweet.
Signing, I don't understand it.
I don't either. That Willy Wonka tweet was great.
I mean, would you guys now feel comfortable taking Breece Hall, though?
7th?
I think Dalvin Cook has a lot more left in the tank. I think Dalvin Cook has a lot more left in the tank than Breece Hall does. Oh, I'm sorry. Take it back. Than Zeke does. So if you're comparing the two, I think Dalvin Cook gets a lot more work than what Zeke would. I think that he eats into much more of a 60-40 split of what Breece Hall will be during the regular season when he's back in full action. I think that's what the grand total of it would be.
You think Breece is a 60%, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure on that. So next bit of news, it's a little minor news here, but Anthony Richardson was named the starter today by head coach Shane Steichen. So everybody who's been drafting him, good for you, because now he's the guy who's going to be taking the first snap. So
see how that
is out there, really.
Yeah.
And then other bit of news is that Miles Sanders' groin is still bothering him per Frank Reich. He's someone I've been drafting a lot in best ball, so this kind of does worry me because season's coming up and he's still got a groin issue. It's never good, especially for a running back.
Especially for a running back that has history of being hurt and history of having soft tissue issues. It definitely makes me a little more leery of depending on Miles Sanders going into the season as, like, say, a 0 RB target. Maybe that kind of puts him down a tier, not a tier, but like a couple spots in his own tier. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I agree. This is definitely hurting my dynasty team that drafted Miles Sanders and J.K. Dobbins. So,
hey, I mean, so Damian Harris is still not practicing per Sean McDermott. He's heading in the right direction, but he has not been on the practice field. So it looks like James Cook is probably the sole guy in that backfield.
Like sitting on the moon by himself. Is that where he's at?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And that's all for the news I've got. So,
yeah.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Ray.
Hey, take us into our favorite part of the off-season.
Oh, I just wanted to tell Brendan, if you guys haven't seen the last video, go ahead and check out our last video. We did a tier rankings. We ranked the Colts at 2 to 5 wins, or 2 to 4 wins. Sorry, Jonathan Taylor's not there, so
I'll talk to you guys after the show about how I really feel about that. That's really rude and disrespectful, but I'll talk to you how I really feel.
It's rude and disrespectful. So with the rudeness and disrespectfulness being thrown out there already, we're going to get into a mock draft where you guys know that we are just known to snipe each other all the time, just to spite each other, because that's what we want to do. We know how everybody drafts. So as I said, this is a 12-team PPR, full-point PPR mock draft. 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex, 5 bench spots, only 14 rounds total. Kickers and defenses, we don't do that around here. So if you don't like that, sorry, we're not changing. I'm drafting from the 2, Ray's drafting from the 4, and Brennen is drafting from the 10 spot. So you boys ready to get this going?
Yep.
Hell
Perfect.
yeah.
Let's bump it. Up first, Christian McCaffrey. Wow, don't really see that a whole lot. Man, this makes my choice really, really tough right here. Really tough, right? Full point PPR. I'm gonna go Justin Jefferson. Then Tyreek Hill goes, and Ray is on the clock. You get Jamar.
Ray just got gifted.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take Jamar Chase now.
Then after Jamar goes Austin Eckler, Cooper Kupp, Travis Kelce at the 7, Bijan at 8, Stephon Diggs at 9, and Brennan is on the clock at 10.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here looking at, Saquon, AJ Brown, even Nick Chubb, but I think I'm going to go Saquon. I'm going to just get my running back out of the way and see where it goes from there.
Okay, then Patty Mahomes goes at the back of the first in this one. AJ Brown at the 1-2 or 112, Nick Chubb at the 2-1, then Jonathan Taylor at the 2-2. Brennan, you're back.
I am back on the clock, and it's very weird to see Patrick Mahomes in the first round. So I'm definitely going to take a wide receiver here because after these guys that go, it's going to be a run. And I'm looking at it. There's CeeDee, there's Devontae, there's Amon-Ra. But I think I'm going to take the beloved Garrett Wilson here and ride it out into the sunset.
Sure. See you, butthole. CeeDee Lamb goes next. Jalen Waddle goes right after that. Derrick Henry goes to Team 7. Devontae Adams, Josh Allen, and Ray, you're back up, buddy.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just solidify my receiving core. I'm going to go ahead and get the sun god himself, Amon-Ra. I really believe this is it. This is the season. This is it.
So Ray takes Amon-Ra on full points setup. That's pretty good. Tony Pollard goes, and I'm back on the clock. Josh Jacobs still not at training camp. Not really super excited about that. I'm pretty close together back to back, and this other team doesn't have a wide receiver yet. So I'm just going to take Chris Olave here. Go ahead and, like Ray said, solidify my top 2 starting receivers. Team 1 then goes Josh Jacobs and Jalen Hurts, and I'm back on the clock here. Full point PPR. I don't want to have to worry about this position again for the rest of the year, so I'm going to take Mark Andrews right here in the 3rd.
No running backs.
Just get it out of the way. It's full point. You hopefully should be able to find some pass catching work in the running back position for full point later in the draft. But then Najee goes, and then Ray's back on the clock.
It's weird that, like, right there, if you wouldn't have taken Mark Andrews, that's the direction I was going to be heading in. But because you did that, now I'm going to really start falling on tight ends and whatnot. We do have a flex there. I do like a couple receivers still left on the board. I'm going to go ahead and punt the running back position a little longer. I'm going to take Devonta Smith.
Okay, Ray takes Devonta Smith, then T. Higgins goes right after that. Ramondre Stevenson still going in the 3rd because ADP takes forever to adjust, it seems like. And then DK Metcalf, Joe Burrow, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Brennan is back on the clock.
This is true. So I am in kind of a little bit of a quandary here. I have a little bit of options. I can go Travis Etienne. I'm not going to go Breece Hall. Obviously, the news today. There's Lamar Jackson, who I do like a lot. There's Calvin Ridley. There's Joe Mixon. You know what? I think I'm going to go Travis Etienne. I believe that he's going to be the RB1 still going forward and get a lot of the receiving work too as well.
All right, and then right after you take Travis Etienne, Calvin Ridley goes, Breece Hall goes, Lamar Jackson to start off the 4th round. Kenneth Walker then goes, and Brennan, you're back up.
Yeah, so I do probably need a wide receiver here. I do have Keenan ranked higher than Debo. I understand Keenan is treacherous towards being injured, but I still believe in the talent, not the injury. So I'm going to go Keenan. I know it's safe. It's PPR. He's going to get 7 to 10 receptions a game, 70 yards. So I feel pretty confident there.
I agree. And then after that goes Joe Mixon, Debo Samuel, Aaron Jones, TJ Hawkinson, DeAndre Hopkins, and Ray. You're back on the clock again.
Ray, why are you smiling over there?
I was thinking
Justin
like
Fields.
there is zero chance. No, there is zero chance that Joe Mixon or Aaron Jones, either one of them, are going to fall to me. And sure as hell they didn't. I was really hoping they would have, because I was like, you know what, I can get them a little later. Wrong, can't.
Mm-hmm. You're definitely wrong.
So now I'm in a sticky pickle.
Ooh, sticky
I'm in
pickle.
a
Like
sticky
Pickle
pickle
Rick?
here with yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna solidify my quarterback position. It's not gonna be Justin Fields this time. It's gonna be Trevor Lawrence.
Whoa.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a gamble here.
Okay. Miles
Good
Sanders
gamble.
goes next, even though the groin, I was still hoping he would come back to me. Then I am on the clock here. Got 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end. I'm looking. I could take Cooper, Fields, Herbert, McLaurin, Pierce. I don't like Pierce there, so I got 1 pick coming back. I'm going to take a quarterback. No, I'm not. I'm going to take...
I was going to look at you and be like, well, look at your surroundings.
I'm not. I'm going to take Amari Cooper. Next best available on the board. I'm going to take my flex spot there. Terry McLaurin goes next. Christian Watson goes right after that. And then there, I'm on the end, right? So I got to reach just a little bit. There still are some quarterbacks left later in the draft that I do like. But I'm going to take what is perceived to be just the workhorse back in Minnesota. And I'm going to take Alexander Madison here just to get my first
you are
RB1 on the board.
worst.
And then
You are the
Justin Fields
worst.
goes right after that.
I wanted to touch on Christian Watson right quick before I make my selection here. Out of all of the Packers receivers, I feel like he's going to burn the most people because I don't think he's going to return the value that you need him to return at the position you have to draft him in. But since I'm back on the clock here and I have a long way to go and I feel like I'm going to get sniped again, I'm going to take Javonte Williams as my running back 1.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Then after that goes Damian Pierce, Justin Herbert, Jerry Jeudy, Alvin Kamara with 3-game suspension to team 8. George Kittle and Brennen is back on the clock.
Yep, I was sniped there too because I would have loved Javonte Williams and Alvin Kamara for my flex. So that's awesome. So my options here are DJ Moore, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, who I'm not really a big fan of, DeAndre Swift. There's Dallas Goedert. I do like Darren Waller. And I like a couple other guys, but I do need to start looking at other positions as well, like quarterback possibly, because it does start to thin out. Like the next guy is Dak and Sean and Tua, which I'm not really too keen on. So I think I might move that position, pump on that position, but I'm gonna go Darren Waller. I think I'm gonna take the guy who's gonna potentially lead the team in targets and receptions.
Okay. Then goes DJ Moore, Drake London, Chris Godwin at the 6-1, J.K. Dobbins at the 6-2. Brennan, you're back up.
And this is where I'm going to solidify my flex, and I'm going to take Cam Akers. I'm going to take a guy who I think is going to have a bell cow type of season and get a lot of work in the receiving game.
Okay. Then show favorite, Brandon Ayuk goes right after Brennan selects Cam Akers. Mike Williams goes DeAndre Swift, James Conner, Kyle Pitts, and Ray is back up.
Isn't it weird that like you look at Dalvin Cook's name right here and you're like, is it worth the draft pick? No, it's not. I'd rather have his brother, to be honest. But I want to gamble. I'm going to talk to you out loud, Aaron, because I feel like it's a pertinent conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I want to gamble and say that James Cook comes back to me.
Okay.
I see 2 running backs in the first team, 3 running backs in the third team. You're the only one that I'm really worried about taking James Cook right here. What are you feeling right there?
I would not be taking James Cook in my next 2 picks.
Aaron's definitely going to take James Cook in his next
I don't
2
believe
picks.
you.
I promise. I'm not going to take James Cook in my
feel
next
like-
2 picks.
I feel like he's lying to me. I'm going to go ahead and take Evan Ingram then right now and take care of my tight end stack there.
Okay.
And you're on the clock.
And Dalvin Cook would have been who I was looking at there in the 6th round at the back of the 6th. I think that'd be a good spot. But he didn't fall to me. He went 1 pick before me, so I am going to take James Cook. I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that right now. He is pretty enticing, actually. right there. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to take Christian Kirk because I really want some Christian Kirk in my life on this team. He is my fourth wide receiver. That's fine. I know I don't have my running backs completely filled out, but that is because on this pick right here, I am going to take the next running back, and I'm just going to go ahead and get it done. And I'm going to take Pacheco. Yes, I understand that this is a full point PPR format, but I still like the amount of work that he's going to be getting. And if Brennen doesn't cite me, maybe later down the line, I can pick up another running back from Kansas City. Anyways, Marquise Hollywood Brown goes in between my pick of Isaiah Pacheco and Ray's back on the clock. Your boy's still sitting here. Promise I wouldn't take him. I didn't take him.
I'm kind of shocked you didn't because I thought you were going to. So I'm going to go ahead. I really did. I was like, it makes sense. I want to ask you guys before I make the selection here. Does it make sense to kind of have the 6th, 7th round? Are you looking at Dalvin Cook or James Cook? Is that kind of where you guys are and your guys' thought process there too? Because that's kind of where I am right now.
I'd rather have the guy that's gonna at least be the more than 50% of the back than the other side of it. So I'd rather have James Cook than Dalvin right now.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling about it.
So Ray gets his guy. Ray, you've been on James Cook like for the last year and a half, so it just feels right that he's finally starting to take off.
I mean, about time.
So
it's been a long time coming.
Then goes Mike Evans, Rashad White, Dak Prescott, Tyler Lockett, Deshaun Watson. Brennan's on the clock. Quarterbacks are starting to get thinner and thinner for as far as starters go. So what are you thinking here, Brennan?
I am actually thinking I'm going to take a Rays guy here, his guy. I'm going to take Jackson Smith and Jigba. I have two strong receivers in Garrett Wilson and Keenan Allen. I know rookie receivers take a little bit, and I do expect Keenan to miss some games. So this is where I would start JSN in the games that Keenan misses.
Okay, then Jahan Dotson goes, George Pickens, David Njoku at the 8-1, AJ Dillon, and then Brennan, you're back on the clock.
You know what? I'm finally going to get him. I'm going to take my quarterback, Anthony Richardson, is going to be my starting quarterback for my team.
Okay. Then Brian Robinson goes, Pat Freiermuth, Deontay Johnson, David Montgomery, Jordan Addison, and then Ray's back on the clock again.
That I am. And right now I'm leaning towards taking Khalil Herbert, thinking about that. I'm mulling it around. I really hate that Brennan took JSN. That's so frustrating to me.
The other boy, Kadarius Toney's still there.
The other receivers.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that. I'm going to go ahead and take Khalil Herbert. I'm going to take the perceived bell cow in Chicago. Really, the bell cow is Justin Fields.
Yeah, so Ray takes Khalil Herbert. Kadarius Toney comes. The gamble paid off. This guy came back to me. I was puckering up the whole time, but I'm taking Antonio Gibson. We talk about pass catching work, trying to find a supplement for Isaiah Pacheco right there. I think this might be the year that it happens with actual pass catching downs. Then Quentin Johnston goes next. Jamal Williams goes next. I'm back on the clock. So I'm in a predicament. I need a quarterback. There's two guys sitting here. Technically, there's three, but there's two. And there's two that Brendan and I.
It's really one. It's really
there's
one.
Two that Brendan and
I was going to say it's really one.
And he's starting to fall below ADP, so I'm gonna take him, and it's gonna be Tua. That's
Tua non baby.
Had he gone, I would have just waited and tried to get Kirk on the back end. But anyways, Brandon Cooks goes next, and Ray's back on the clock.
Hey Ray, Michael Thomas.
I'm stunned you didn't take Kirk. He can stay available for the rest of history. Let's go take a look around the receivers here. I like Odell more than I think I should. I'm going to go ahead and go Odell again. I feel like I draft the same team like 50% of the time. It's the same team. I'm going to take Odell.
Might work. Then Rashad Penny goes. Treylon Burks goes. Juju Smith-Schuster, Michael Thomas, Zay Flowers. Brennan's back on the clock. Have you guys heard the rumors that Rashad Penny might not even make the roster?
I have not heard that. This is the first I'm hearing from that today.
Yeah. He's apparently getting no work, no run. He's like on the roster.
That would be perfect. That would be
that's
beautiful. I would take my victory lap expeditiously.
Yeah, it should be Kenneth Gainwell, in my opinion, if that's the case.
Yeah.
So I don't mind Gabe Davis here as like a bench spot for wide receiver because he could have his little boom weeks. Playing on that is being interesting. I also like Shaq Cabernet, butchered that name pretty badly, but I like him. I like Elijah Moore. This is kind of tough here because now it's getting thin pickings back here. But I'm gonna take Gabe Davis. I'm gonna go with those boom weeks and hope for the best.
All right, then Team 11 finally takes their first tight end with Dalton Schultz at the 9-11. Zach Charbonnet. Samaje Perine starts out the 10th round, and then Aaron Rodgers goes at the 10-2. Brennen, you're back up.
Hey, Aaron, remember that other running back you mentioned from Kansas City that you'd worried I was going to take?
Yeah, take him right here.
This is where I'm going to take Jerick McKinnon right here. He's going to be potentially the guy who's going to receiving work. It could be Clyde, but I like Jerick. He finished strong last season, so.
Yep, I agree with that. And then Kirky Poo goes next. Hate to see a team draft 2 quarterbacks and Kirk be one of them. No faith on anybody. Elijah Moore goes. Cole Kmet goes. Cortland Sutton goes. Devon A-Chain goes. And Ray's back on the clock.
Times like this are where I'm like, man, I really wish that Tyler Boyd went to a different team. Like they would just got rid of him. But you know what? I from seeing the week 1 preseason, I have to believe that Adam Thielen is going to be super involved in like just getting all these checkdowns and this being a full PPR and it being my profile picture for Sleeper for a long time. Adam Thielen needs to be on the team.
Okay, so then Dalton Kincaid goes and it puts me in a sticky spot here because I much rather would have had like a Brandon Cooks or Isaiah Flowers taking a shot on him than Tua in that spot, knowing now that I could have Geno right here. But not going to do that. So I'm looking at Jameson Williams suspended still for 6 games. Alan Lazard, Damian Harris, as we talked about previously, still not on the field. I'm going to take the gamble in Kansas City with the wide receiver. I'm going to take Sky Moore.
I like that pick. I was hoping he'd fall back. So
then Jameson Williams goes. Geno Smith goes. I'm back on the clock. Still not really sure what I want to do here. But it's been every draft that Ray's got to get him, so I'm going to reach a little bit here, and I'm going to take Tank Bigsby.
Why?
1 round before he's supposed to go, or a few spots before. Go ahead and let the rookie running back sit on my bench. Wait for him to develop a little bit. He looked really good in preseason, and that's who I'm going to take right there. And then Damian Harris goes next. And Ray, you're on the clock, buddy. I gave you James Cook, but it cost you Tank Bigsby.
That's so brutal. I'd make the trade. All right, so I don't think that Brennan's going to let it slide because I feel like I'm just going to get sniped everywhere right now. Now that the fisticuffs are out and people are
the gloves are off, buddy.
Yeah, or am I missing something? Did Romeo Doubs already get taken?
That is yeah, that's correct, man. He's drafted for sure.
I got a fat figure to type in. No, he did not. There it is. Romeo Doubs.
Oh, so Ray takes Romeo Doubs out of a spite pick. Then Alan Lazard goes. Chickaconqua goes. Rashad Bateman, Elijah Mitchell, Tyler Higbee, and Brennan, you're back up.
I am back up, and I'm looking at my team here. I got, the wealth is a little spread out here. I'm going to take the newly signed Patriots running back, Ezekiel Elliott. I can't wait to see him have 2 carries for 2 yards and 2 touchdowns, so I'm all for it.
That's fair. That's a fair point. Greg Dulcich goes next. Then Tyler Algier, Daniel Jones, Raheem Mostert. Is that the first Miami running back drafted? I think it is.
Yes.
And then Brennan, you're back on the clock.
I am back on the clock, and I am going to take a guy who I think Mr. Anthony Richardson's going to target a lot in the season. It's going to be Alec Pierce. Have a little bit of a stack. Hope he comes into something. So who knows? This is your last pick. Make a gamble.
Yep, take a shot. Chances are they might not be on your roster after week 1 anyway, so who cares, right?
Exactly.
Jacoby Myers, then Jared Goff, then Tyler Boyd, who Ray was talking about earlier, Darnell Mooney, Russell, the trash can Wilson, and then Ray's back on the clock.
You said take a gamble. I'm going to go with the tea leaves here. People are talking a lot about Kareem Hunt signing somewhere, right? He's got to sign a contract somewhere. Right now, I hope it's Minnesota so that the Alexander Madison truther over there can weep and cry. I'm going to take Kareem Hunt.
I would hope it's Miami.
Then Bryce Young goes. That would honestly just kind of solidify that backfield a little bit more, and you know who's going to be the fantasy person. It's on me. We were talking about taking shots. There's really not. We're deep here, right? I have 5 wide receivers, 4 running backs, a quarterback, and a tight end. I never take a whole bunch of running backs, so I think this time I'm going to. But I'm also going to take what I do believe is going to be a hold at the running back position again. And I'm going to take Roschon Johnson for the back end.
Both Bears.
I know. So I'm just taking a hold, and like I said, if he's not on my roster after week 4, that's fine. But then Dante Foreman closes out our draft. Gentlemen, would you like to recap your team?
Absolutely. I'll go with mine here. So I went Saquon in the first, Garrett Wilson in the second, Travis Etienne in the third, Keenan with the fourth, Darren in the fifth, Cam Akers, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Anthony Richardson's my quarterback, Gabe Davis, Jared McKinnon, Zeke Elliott, and Alec Pierce.
Raymond?
All right. Well, I went Jamar Chase in the first, the 1-4, which is wild. Amon-Ra St. Brown in my second, Devonta Smith in my third, Trevor Lawrence in my fourth, Javonte Williams is my RB1 in the fifth, Evan Ingram in the sixth, James Cook is my RB2 kind of in the seventh, Khalil Herbert in the eighth, Odell in the ninth, Adam Thielen in the 10th, Romeo Doubs in the 11th, which could be honestly still sneaky value, and Kareem Hunt in the 12th. Brennan, I wanted to ask you one question before we move right to Aaron's beautiful team. Do you feel comfortable having Anthony Richardson as your only quarterback on your roster?
Comfortable? I mean, as of week 1, yeah, he's named the starter, so I know he's going to play for however long. I think they're going to ride him out every single game unless he gets injured. So if he sucks, then I'm going to go pick up somebody off the waiver wire. But I really think that he will be a fantasy asset just because of his rushing upside. When I watched the first game against the Bills, he wanted to run a lot more, and it looked like the coaching staff said, no, don't go.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Up for me, I have obviously a smash pick in Justin Jefferson at the 1-2. Then I took Chris Olave at the back of the second, Mark Andrews to start my third round, Amari Cooper at the back of the fourth, first running back Alexander Madison at the 5-2. Went ahead and took my first bench player with Christian Kirk at the 6-11. I really just wanted him on my team because, especially in PPR formats, I think that's going to be where he truly shines this year with Calvin Ridley making his home there. Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th, Antonio Gibson in the 8th to help kind of fill in on my weak running back position. Tua in the 9th, Sky Moore taking a shot on that in the 10th, and then back-to-back rookie running backs who I'm hoping will sit on the bench and I can make it through the first few weeks and let them develop, with Tank Bigsby in the 11th and Roschon Johnson in the 12th. As always, guys, please be sure to let us know what team you think had the best team and where you think we messed up at, because even if we don't ask, most of you guys are going to tell us anyways. So let us know in the comments below. But let's talk about it. How do you guys feel about your team?
Feel all right.
I feel pretty
Wish
good.
I had Tank.
I like mine.
Give me James Cook and Romeo Doubs. You can have him. I was hoping you wouldn't reach so far for Dobbs, and then you did, and then I was like, oh, he's not even getting a chance to come back here. So it kind of bit me in the butt, too. But it is what it is. Well, boys, got anything else?
I got nothing.
No? As always, please be sure to comment below to get into our Money League. Free $100 if anyone can beat the 3 of us. But please be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Go follow us on TikTok. New content will be dropping pretty much daily when Brennen gets back from his sweet little vacation that he's on. But yeah, other than that, guys, we will see you later.